Well, she was not at a podium in Ottawa tonight. Instead, Green Party leader Elizabeth May was cloistered behind a curtain in a meeting room at the Victoria Conference Centre where she was watching the federal leaders debate go by. She'll give us her reaction to it in about a half an hour or so, and we'll bring that to you live. Our political reporter Shachi Curl has more on a leader left out and what the voters think in the island riding that she is hoping to win.
The contrast is unmistakable as those leaders square off against each other under the lights and frills of a set in Ottawa. This leader is squaring off against them online from the austere conditions of a Victoria conference room. Elizabeth May, head of the Green Party and Green candidate for Saanich Gulf Islands, is the odd woman out, and she's not happy about it.
This is not ideally what you would have wanted.
No, of course not. And I don't think it's what Canadians would have wanted. We've seen overwhelming public support.
Her ultimately failed attempt to be included in the election 2011 leaders debates culminated in what was dubbed the Rally for Democracy, which drew hundreds of supporters out last night. But their cheers falling on deaf ears. The consortium of broadcasters did not change their minds about letting May in, a change from their decision in the 2008 election.
Why is she left out and a party that only has members in one province in?
But 20% of Canadians did vote Green.
The difficulty for Elizabeth May is that she is the national leader. So on behalf of all her candidates across the country, she has to push to be included in the debate. The thing is, if she was actually able to win in her own riding, it probably wouldn't even be a question of being included.
She's probably better off concentrating on trying to win.
There's no rule that has ever existed that you have to have a seat.
May says she's trying to do right by her party and by voters in her riding.
We have candidates in pretty much everywhere across the country. We have 305 candidates, and it isn't so much what we do now that wins the seat. It's all the work that we've been knocking on doors for a year and a half, and so many people on Saanich Gulf Islands are already so pumped.
So she's making her own way tonight, blogging and tweeting and reaching out to Canadians who make the conscious choice to reach out to her. It's a far cry from reaching the millions who might have been watching had she too been allowed to debate.
Shachi Curl joins us now live at the Victoria Conference Centre. We're waiting to hear Ms. May's reaction. No real knockout blows tonight, though, Shachi.
No real knockout blows, Hudson. I think you were going to see a lot of leaders that were playing it very, very cautious. Nobody wants to risk a big mistake in a debate. Nobody wants that 1984 John Turner moment when he was eviscerated by Brian Mulroney over the issue of patronage appointments and was told, well, I had no option, he said, and that basically lost the election for John Turner. Everybody who is a student of politics knows that that was the absolute worst thing, and no leader ever wants to repeat that. We are going to throw to some highlights now from the debate, which just wrapped up, and the topics, of course, revolving around issues of crime and health care. Here we go.
And here's Sean Atleo, the national chief, calling for a focus on education, a focus on housing, getting clean water into these communities, dealing with the fundamental poverty, and it's not just in Aboriginal communities, but it certainly is terribly severe there.
It's no secret that if Mr. Harper were to get back, God heaven help us, one of the first things he'll do is gut the gun register. So you can't have a consistent criminal justice policy unless you're tough on guns.
The choice Mr. Ignatieff puts before you and the other parties, that you somehow have to choose between the military and healthcare, you somehow have to choose raising taxes if you want to keep benefits. It's a false choice. The Liberal Party, when it was in office, raised taxes.
I think there's too much money in Ottawa, and Ottawa's collecting too much money for the jurisdiction of its own. I mean, healthcare is a provincial jurisdiction, and the expertise is there. Not in Ottawa, you're not managing a single hospital in Ottawa.
Of course, Hudson, will never know whether or not Elizabeth May's presence here at the debate would have swayed any voters or changed the goalposts in any meaningful way. We do know that she was unhappy about the way things went, and she's not going to be happy about it tomorrow again when the French debate goes ahead.